page number 17. I've shared spit with Peter Garrett by playing out the same harmonica. Not many people know that. Bloody beautiful, mate.
Yeah.
So we're looking at about $1 worth of rubber for each plate, which isn't bad. Starts off like that, all hard, and you end up with a rubber one like that. It's got more give. Here's one I prepared earlier.
This is like a cooking show.
It is like a cooking show. Pull that off gently. You know, no job, no dole, nothing like that for over 2 years now. I'm still here, but there you go. There's a rubber copy of the fiberglass plate. One Guten comic. I feel like a beer. It looks like beer, it smells like beer. It's very slightly bubbly. And down the hatch. God save the Queen. Mate, that is alcoholic. Let's plant some barley. In doing so, we're demonstrating use of the land. Here's our yak. A stubborn, one of Her Majesty's stubborn Nepalese yaks. Colonial yaks. Not only a comic star, but now a movie star also. Which isn't bad for a yak, is it? Right, and a corgi. Can't forget Her Majesty's extraordinary corgis. They're there to bite people. Goes back to 1611 when King James tried to smash the Justice of the High Court's face in. And the Justice of the High Court, being such a Nancy boy, just laid down on all fours like a dog. So the king didn't hit him because he cowered down. Now we can imagine Her Majesty hitting the Justice of the High Court over the head with a rolling pin or something. Well, you know, it wouldn't be seemly, would it? So, she just gets the corgis to bite absolutely everybody. And then when she tells the corgis to stop biting them, then they're being good, right? But if she fails to tell the corgis to stop, then it's not Her Majesty's fault, you see. It's just the corgis' fault. So if the corgis happen to chew the living shit out of the Justices of the High Court, then King James can rest happily in his grave, knowing that it ain't over. Now we just do the helmets on our despicable Nazi bastards, and we'll be right.
I've heard rumours through the grapevine that something went down within the state government.
Oh, well, there'd be always something going down, but if it was actually democracy, you wouldn't have to hear rumours, would you? You'd actually know. You'd be able to read it in the paper or something like that. The beer is good, but the mud stinks.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Have a drink, Sammy.
We had labels on them, of course, but they've all fallen off.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with putting it in the water.
That's really good.
Not bad at all.
Yum.
We don't need that wire or that wire. Chop them off. And we don't need that wire, we'll chop that off. And we don't need the cadmium photoresistor, we'll chop that off. But The part we need, well, we don't need these resistors either. We get rid of them. As usual, in the West, almost everything you buy ends up immediately in the bloody bin. Right, let's chop all of that off the circuit. What we need is the solar cell and its housing, which is the perfect shape, which is magic, and the diode. There's our mould, which cost us about 50 Commonwealth cents. Clear casting resin. There we go, that's lovely, a little bit more, just a bit. We'll fashion from a Coke can a heat sink for it to transfer the heat, so we won't overheat the solar cell. Perhaps in other parts of the world there were blokes being attacked by tribes of bloodthirsty Hottentots, right? And they thought, stuff this, we're digging in mate. So I'm going to prove to you that you can demonstrate to the Crown that your masonry is both masterful, super and excellent, and build a house for nothing with only a piece of string. This is the solar cell from last week and we're going to make our own lens. When you polish it up, that's what it looks like. Pretty spiffy, eh? Toothpaste polishes your teeth, polishes plastic wonderfully. We slide the solar cell, the lens across. How big does our solar cell appear to look, eh? Can you tell?
Yes, I can.
We've made the solar cell twice as big through the wonders of optics. This is baling twine. You know, 100 years ago or whatever, when they'd found the tombs of all the major pharaohs except for this one. But it still took them 5,000 years of digging to find it. Monkey see, monkey do. Alright, we'll need a stick. There's a stick. The strongest shape in the entire world is a sphere. So, we're going to build an underground stone vault by methods of masterful masonry. While other people are paying $500,000 for a house to the people who killed their kids, we shall never ever pay a cent. Down to the ground, and to one end, either end, doesn't matter. Here is our radius. Put our knife blade through it. Don't want to pull too hard, do we? Just want to get it right. She'll end up with a very close to perfect circle. You see, well, the pharaohs, they weren't necessarily a bloody bunch of geniuses, mate. Claim to fame was that having sex with your sister makes you holy, I think. It's a bit of a problem convincing everybody else that that's true. One end of our string over this stick, and we pull it tight, passing directly over that stick. At the point where it crosses directly over the centre stick, that is a perfect half circle, old chap. Right there. Well, you know, to be fair to the pharaohs, they didn't do it with their sister in the same way that people in parts of Tennessee might legally do it with their sister. Like a tunnel, a round tunnel. You couldn't touch the sides. And a foot beyond the line, another loop. So I'll put that over the end one again. Right there, old chap. That's our spot. We've got our perfect half circle. Well, near perfect. Half circle. Inner and outer. Now we've got to find half of that. To find that. To move it into a quarter. We'll define it into an eighth. Right, having defined it into an eighth, we do it one more time, we will have defined a 16th. That is the size of each masonry block. You can buy a house for $1 million and the ground underneath your house does not belong to you. We would want a sterling colonial chisel to dig our bloody hole with, and as we know, the entire bloody hole has been dug with a masonry chisel. Every tent should have a cellar, man.
As you can see, Bob hasn't just been sleeping at night.
Oh no.
He's been keeping hair clink busy.
Down the stairs and ta-ta. So far so good. And we're getting a little, reducing a bit of, what would you call it, a dip or a lip there, right? I want my two beautiful little children and their brother, right, 3 children. I want them to know what it's like to live off of proper money. Magic.
I'm a rocket man. 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 I'm a rocket rolling 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 man. That's what I am.
Yeah, well, I filed a bunch of patents myself, 3 patents between 1999 and 2002. But in the British Empire, instead of having, say, 53 different set of fees, what if you just went back to the old system and had one British Empire patent, right? Well, the Empire would make trillions and trillions of real dollars, not plastic crap, real dollars. Anyway, here's a bloke, check this out. I was walking in the bush one day and I came upon another inventor. So, how you going, Camel?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah. This bloke's got a trailer, but it folds up, mate. So, over to you, matey.
Ah, I do so.
He's got it patented worldwide. He's done all the paperwork, and this is the prototype. One of his prototype.
It's okay. So we're done with mirrors and smoke.
What do you reckon, eh? The South Australian Parliament just seems to have this habit of bending over backwards to be the little whipping boys of anything that Canberra says. You know, it doesn't seem to bother them too much, our millions of dead children and all these other annoying things. I was kind of hoping the cameras would be running when this bit fell off, because that'd be neat, but you can never have things your own way, can you? So it fit on, how'd it fit on like that? And I gave it one little hit with my chisel, thinking I'll just, you know, get a bit more off it, and bang, off it fell, something like this. Oh, man has faced rock, yes, hey?